Hello guys, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Sound working now? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, then welcome to my first stream, guys. Auch guten Tag an alle deutschen Zuschauer. I hope this is gonna work because they actually went out today and tried to fix the internet. They're still working on it. So if there's another blackout of the internet and I'm just offline all of a sudden, then you know why. So I hope it's working now. Quality seems to be stable right now. No drop frames and everything seems to be fine. So yeah, welcome to my first stream. This is basically just gonna be a hangout and Q&A live stream. Until I'm able to reveal my face. I want to reveal my face. I'm not going to say a catalyst for revealing my face, but it might be within the next week. So I set myself a personal goal, and then you see my ugliest face. I don't know. Am I allowed to swear on YouTube? Is it allowed, or am I getting banned if I say the F word and Okay, wait, let me see. Stream settings. Low latency. Hope everything works now. Stream is healthy. That's good. Swear all the fuck you want? Okay. I'll do it. I'll do it. Strikes, I guess. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't risk it. Don't swear. Okay, I'm trying. I'm trying my best. So, how do we start this? I don't even know, guys. Okay. So, I could get striked if someone's gonna report it. So, I'll try to take myself back. By the way, I hope you like DFE dancing in the background the whole time. Until I get my own face cam. He's gonna be replacing me. Okay, let me see. Where's the chat? Here's the chat. So, we're gonna look at this now. So, okay. Anyways, what do you guys want to know? This is gonna be a Q&A hangout stream. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can. Regarding next week, I'm not gonna give any predictions other than my endgame DD. I try to keep it up to date. And yeah, so I can talk in past tense, what happened the last few days, weeks. I have my Webull oatmeal ready, so we can look at some stuff if you guys would like to. But apart from that, what do you guys want to know? It's Q&A. It's gonna be a quick one. I'm trying my best to go back online in a few hours because our American apes are not awake yet. In California, as an example, it's I think around 4 a.m. now, maybe 3 a.m. So yeah, I'm going offline in about 30 minutes, and I'm trying to come back online afternoon when our American apes are awake. So let's go. I'm trying to pick out questions from the live stream first. Hit that like button. Yeah, I can support that. Hit that like button. We hit 46 likes so far. Okay. Jesus Christ. Can you stop that chat? Okay, it stopped now. So when I scroll up, it stopped. How many times can they use short ladder attacks like Wednesday? I still don't think short ladder attacks are a thing, so I can't answer that. I haven't heard a good explanation for short ladder attacks yet. There's normal short attacks, there's sell walls, but I still don't know to this date what a short ladder attack is. So they could, of course, keep shorting GME. Nothing's going to stop them except the SSR, and even that's not going to stop them because SSR only states that they won't be able or won't allow GME to be shorted on down ticks. So when GME has upwards movement, as it had the past few days, they're still allowed to short it. So yeah, they still are. Can you? Oh, fuck! Oh, I'm anonymous. Sorry. F word. Can you talk about the impact of the bond maturity next week? I talked about that in the live stream with Andrew. I can get back to that later. But first, I'm going to try to answer questions that I haven't answered yet. Kannst du was zu Put Calls and Options sagen? Ja, was, can you say something about puts, calls, options, etc. He asks. What do you want to hear? I mean, I can say a lot of stuff, but what do you want to hear? Specific questions, please. Make a recap on the numbers, like SI and so on. Okay, let's see. FINRA report GME. Short interest reporting at finra.org. Okay, that's not the site. Is it this one? I hope so. Yeah, this is it. So current numbers states 52% of the float is still sold short. Updated last. Okay, no, that's not the real update date, because FINRA themselves state that it's going to be updated once every 2 weeks. So this is still an old number, I think. But yeah, this right here is a self-reported number from the hedge funds, easy to manipulate. And as I said, they can just say any number they want. And apart from that, if the number they give out is false, they will just get really small fines, ranging from a couple of $100,000 to maybe a couple of million. But if you have a hedge fund like Citadel and you have assets of around $235 billion, you don't give a shit about a couple of $1 million for paying a fine. So we shouldn't look at the real numbers. I mean, we should look at them, but always take it with a grain of salt. Even not the official numbers, you should take it with a grain of salt. Because for retail, it's really hard to collect information at the moment, because everything is self-reported. Everything is just so hard to access. So yeah, take every number you see with a grain of salt. Do your own research. And the result of your own research, you shouldn't even believe that, in my opinion. I mean, I stand behind my research, but I can always be wrong. So yesterday I stated a nice example. I will see where I posted it. And I'm going to get back to your questions in a few seconds, guys. I just want you to see... what I said yesterday. Yeah, this is much. Oh my god, I was really active yesterday. Holy shit! No wonder my girlfriend's boyfriend is with her right now. Yeah, basically I said I can't find my comment right now. Oh, there it is. There it is. So, I always say people should do their own research. I did my research and presented the results. This is from yesterday, when the gamma squeeze obviously didn't happen. Does it have to become true regarding my DD? No. Do I want it to become true? Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it. People seem to confuse DD with this is inevitable and has to happen. DD is more of a here's one side of the story and the results of my research. But there's always, and with always I mean always, another side of the story. Which one is happening, we'll see. So that's basically DD. I saw and I received a lot of hate messages yesterday from people that were really mad at me for publishing my DD, and people then saying, oh, it didn't become true, that's bullshit, DD. It's just one side of the story, as I said. I mean, I can't look into the future, and there's a lot of speculation out there to why the gamma squeeze didn't happen yesterday. I won't talk about that now because that's again speculation, and I want to take a step back from that in the future. So if people still want to hear my opinion on why I think it didn't happen yesterday, they can still ask me. I might answer that if there's enough interest, but I'm not going to speculate myself. I'm just going to collect information and share the information with you that I've gathered and other people gathered and told me over the past few days. So if people want me to talk about why the gamma squeeze probably didn't happen yesterday, they can ask me, but it's still open if I'm going to answer to that. Because as I said, there's a lot of hate going around and a lot of reasonable critique that people shouldn't pinpoint specific dates or hype specific dates. I mean, yesterday something happened, as I said, why the gamma squeeze didn't happen. And my DD was on the other side of this coin right now. And as I said, there's always another side. So please, yeah, just respect that. Thank you. Okay, sorry for I only answered 2 questions so far. I'm really sorry. This is I hope I don't bore you guys. And okay, where was I? I'm going back down. Okay, what is your background in stocks? What is your background in stocks? I don't have a specific background in stocks, meaning regarding my work. I have experience in stocks for about 4 years now, close to 4 years. And I have a background in laws. Yeah. What's your take on the HS on Wednesday's dip? Oh my, why is this going down? Hedge funds can just manipulate. No, that wasn't the question. What's your take on the hedge funds buying the cheap Friday calls on the Wednesday dip? I still haven't read about that. Can you send me a link? I don't know if it's allowed to send links here, so if it's getting blacked out, just send it to me on Twitter so I can respond to that. Question every DD, even my own. Yeah, that's what I always say. Question my DD. It's your right. If you have reasonable critic, just do it. I mean, you don't even have to disprove my DD. Would be nice, but you can always say, yo, F this guy for publishing it. It's not nice. It's not a nice thing to say. I would do it, but I can understand every viewpoint out there. And I just want to address emotions are really, really, really high at the moment. People really don't seem to take the chill pill anymore. So it's getting really, really rough to respond to critics at the moment because most of the critics just hate blatantly at this point. I responded to a lot of critics yesterday, and almost all of them deleted all their comments. One deleted his post. A lot of people started insulting me, and just because I disproved their critic. So yeah, that's the current state of the community at the moment. Warum soll das passieren, wenn es nur DDs hätten sie beim Endgame gereicht? Good question. He says, why do you say you're 99% certain if it's just a DD? Wouldn't have 75% also been enough for the DD? I think it's just a number I threw out there. It states I'm really, really certain it's going to happen within the time span of March 15th and March 19th. 19th, this is the German's accent. So yeah, I think it's going to happen around that time span. I'm really, really certain. I still am. Everything still points to that date, and there's been new additions. So yeah, maybe 75% would have been enough, but I'm staying with my 99 because it's just a number after all. Hedge funds can just manipulate just the price in range 50, 100 in the next few days. Just sorry for this question. So is your question, can hedge funds get the price down back to 50 or 100 within the next few days to scare people? No. I don't think so. Just because stimmies have been passed in the US now. And I also said there's a long way on our side. I'm not going to talk about that because we're getting back into the gamma squeeze stuff now. And I want to respond to that this afternoon when I do my second live stream. But yeah, no, in my opinion, they can't. They can't get the price down this far. There's no possible way. I mean, I've said that multiple times, but there could be a way, but I don't know a single way that could get the price from currently 267 in aftermarket down to back to 100 or even 50. So no, in my opinion, it's not possible. Price for the peak. So he's asking me for a realistic price target of the peak. I'm not responding to that. That's pure speculation. I don't even have a personal price target. So I have to skip this question because, as I said, I don't even have a personal price target. Don't spam. Your DD is sound. Thank you, chill bro. Yes, chill bro. No. Sorry, Liam, you're spamming me a bit too much. Now I put you on timeout, I hope. Okay. We're going to need aber wäre schön, wenn wir darüber reden, warum es nicht passiert ist und was du dir kommende Woche vorstellst. Yeah, as I said, he's asking me why it didn't happen yesterday. He's talking about the gamma squeeze. I might talk about... Oh, fuck. Hell. I really need another program to read the comments. Okay, here's it. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to respond to that maybe, but a lot of people talked with me about that, and they said I shouldn't talk about it. So they actually had good reasons, so I still have to think about it. on why it didn't happen yesterday. But we will see. I've noticed non-stop sells a pattern. Is it possible they are not even actually selling, thus creating fake sell wards? They cancel before it executes, or they synthetic info? Non-stop sells in a pattern. Yeah, I've seen that as well. If we go to NYSE or NASDAQ, let's see, GME, recent trades that have been executed at NASDAQ. Look at this. 4 decimals. That's almost impossible for retail. In most retail brokers, you have no access to 3 or even 4 decimals on your trades. And if you can see, share volume is always the same. So what I think is they're throwing shares at each other to lower the price artificially. You can see prices is getting higher, lower by every trade. But it's always the same number. So what I think is people also had this theory that hedge funds are throwing shares between each other at the same prices. It's nothing new. In my eyes, it's manipulation. SEC didn't step in yet. I don't know why. But this is just pretty blatant. I mean, look at all those trades. It's the same volume, always round numbers. And that's definitely not retail buying in at round numbers. Every few seconds with 4 decimals. So the volume, the money you have to buy that kind of stuff, it's just not possible for retail to obtain. So yeah, oh no, that's the wrong one. Wait, where am I getting back? Okay. So next question. In your opinion, is there any trigger, a reason the bad guys would want to trigger the SSR? No. Liam, stop it. How come it's so hard to reach? It's not hard to reach. I mean, we reached it within a day. And quoting myself from my own post, this wasn't some weird hedge fund buying in. This was just pure retail and maybe a bit of hedge funds buying in. But it wasn't like there was crazy volume. Let's take a look at it. This is where we reached $350 that day. Wait, let me blend in after hours as well. Okay, now I have to scroll much further. Yeah. So this is when we reached 350. I mean, if you look at the volume, this is after hours. Volume was around 500,000 to 1 million. At the opening, it was just around 4 million. And it barely did anything to the price. As you can see, volume has been pretty steady over the time, and price kept rising and rising and rising. So as you can see, this is where price is rising to 350. Volume is increasing just a little bit, but it wasn't like there was a huge candle such as this one being the reason for the price spike. So what I think is just a lot of people bought in at this time, creating a nice price basis here. And this is where the DD started, my first one with about 20,000 upvotes in the past few days on why this happened. The time span from here to here, this is March 10th, this is March 11th. This was all the last 2 DDs, if you remember, regarding the SSR, gamma squeeze, etc. If you guys want me to talk about this more, we can do it this afternoon when our American friends are awake. And I don't know, do you guys want me to explain a bit of this? What does this mean? What is a candle? What are those? What are those numbers? What is this? Do you guys want to know a bit about the basics? If so, I can explain a bit. So yeah, I'm waiting for your response in the chat right now if you want to know some basics on what you're even looking here right now, so you understand what I'm talking about. Sure, yes. Okay, wait, let me get our roaring kitty down a bit and make him a bit smaller. Okay. Please explain. We're awake in America? Yeah, I'm aware that you're awake, but it's pretty early, I think. EST time. Let's look at the East Coast. It's 8 a.m. I mean, for a weekend, not a lot of people are awake probably. And in California, it's just about 5 a.m. on a weekend, so I think not many people are awake yet. So I want to wait a bit for everyone to be awake so I can interact with as many people, answer as many questions as possible. So you don't have to ask twice or watch hours long of my videos in order to get your questions answered. So yeah, I just want to wait till afternoon, make another stream, and then we're good to go. Okay, let's explain the basics. People want it. Yes, explain. Okay, so, wrong program. So the first one you're seeing, this is price action over the day. This is the volume over the day, and those two indicators are the MACD and the signal indications. So let's start with the first one, the real basic ones. I don't know, let's screenshot this, and then I can draw some lines. So this is what you look at over the day. So let's start with the candle. You have two candles usually. In our best case, we would want to have one color, that's green. But let's start with the candles. Maybe, wait, let me look at an opening, because most action is at opening and closing. So let's take this here. So as you can see, this is after hours or pre-market, therefore it's underlined in blue, and this is when the market starts. When the market starts, I hope I can zoom in on this. No, I can't now. Okay, now. Okay, I hope you can see that in the stream though. Yeah, okay, it's visible enough. Candle starts at opening. You can see here. Okay, fuck this screenshot. I'm sorry, guys. It's much easier to explain here. So those are the values of the candle. If you look up here, so the candle opened at 269. This was our opening price for this candle. Hit its high at 283. This is this little line that you can look to the left. This line going up here, and yeah, this one. So this is how high it went, how low it went, depending on the volume of the candle. I'm not good at explaining, I just realized. It would be much easier to pinpoint with my fingers right now because the line is just over it. But okay, let's try our best. As I said, this is how high it went. So as you can see here, 283, the line is up here. Meaning with this candle, we have an interval of about 5 minutes. So every candle you see here is 5 minutes of trading. You can set them up as you want. So this is like 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Every single minute is creating a new candle, but I'm working with 5 minutes because otherwise I'm getting an epileptic seizure. So as we can see here, it went up here to all the way to 283, went as low as 258. That's why it's so low here. And you can see when the candle is green, the lower part of the candle where it starts, this is where it opened. So as you can see here, 269.12 it was. You can look at the line to our right, and it says about 269.12 there. So this is where our candle opened. And then it doesn't matter if it went up first or went down first. What matters is it went down to this number, it went up to this number, and it closed at the top of the candle where that big box is ending. So we closed at about 280, yeah, 283 as you can see up there in this candle. And then the next interval starts with after 5 minutes. So this is where a new candle is created. Starting here at the lower part of the box and closing at the upper part of the box. Going up all the way to this and going down all the way to this. With red candles, it's the opposite. It opens here, meaning we had a higher price when this interval started, and the price lowers to about 280. Yeah, we closed at 280, exactly 280. As you can see in the top left corner, C is close. Meaning it went as low as 275, and we then closed at about 280. Meaning, as I said, it's the opposite way for the green candle. It's opening here, closing here, so the price went higher with this interval. And with red candles, it's opening here, it's closing here, meaning we had a price drop in this interval. That's why the candle is red. it looks more complicated than it is with all the values and everything, the candles, especially at first you don't realize, okay, what is this stick sticking out of the boxes? That's just, as I said, price went as low as that, as high as that, closed at that, and opened at that. So that's a basic 2-minute explanation, maybe 10 minutes of a candle. As you can see here, we had a really steady price drop. The candle had a bit of an outbreak at the top, meaning we recovered a bit of price at that, almost nothing at that, nothing at all at that, a bit here, and here it went as low as 172 and closed at about 198. So we had a huge recovery of price here because it went as low as that, and the red candle is so small, it's not barely visible, meaning we had a huge recovery here. People buying back in, as you can see here, it's the same. So yeah, that's what you're looking at when you're looking at this graph with candles. I hope you understood. And now I'm going back to the chat. I hope I'm not boring you guys. Okay, so as we cleared up the basics around the candles, what do you want to know now? Ask your questions again. Feel free. Okay, this is the first one I saw. He's asking, what's going to happen if the price of the squeeze is so high that hedge funds are not able to have enough money and cover back or cover their shares? In that case, I talked about with Andrew in 3 separate live streams. Banks would jump in that are backing the hedge funds because hedge funds themselves are most of the time backed by banks. If that's not happening, banks for some reason don't have enough money either, then insurances jump in. Insurances would cover the short positions, or rather provide the money to hedge funds and cover for them. If that doesn't happen, then the prime brokers would jump in, such as the DTCC. You might have heard of it. This is a huge one. Revenue of only 1.7 billion, but they have assets of around, I think, 40 trillion it was. $40 trillion in assets. So they would jump in. With a new rule update, let me go on my profile in the Endgame DD. I hope it's pinned at the top. Okay, there it is. I talked about the rule update here. They basically state, if you want me to explain the rule update, wait, I'm going back to the chat because I don't want to talk about stuff that you guys don't want to know, so I'm waiting. Do you guys want me to explain this rule in a really simple, basic way and what it means for the hedge funds now? If the DTCC rule comes into place in about 6 days. March 19th, by the way, again. Okay. Yes. People want me to explain. Okay, so we're going back to the DTCC rule. I'm not going to read out all of this, but this basically means, as he said here, that's a quote by Never Sell. DTCC can now take an effect by March 19th. From then, this rule is coming into place, meaning if hedge funds naked short GameStop, naked short meaning they don't have any available shares to borrow. I'm gonna show you really quick what I mean with that. Yeah, those are the shares available to borrow right now, and the ETF shares available to borrow right now. So there's only about 1 million right now, making up only about, we had a volume of 25 million, so that's only about 2% of the whole day, 2.5% of the whole day. So they could only short about 2.5% of the volume of the whole day. Meaning, if they would short all 1 million shares they have available, something like this wouldn't happen. If we go back to a certain day, let me blend this out again so we're faster. Was this the... Yeah, that's the infamous 18 million volume candle, the biggest one on GME. Causing a small price drop. If you look at that, that's not even for shorting 18 million shares. That hour or that 5 minutes alone, it did barely do anything. But trading got halted multiple times when they did that. But as you can see, 80 million shares sold short. This doesn't mean it's 1-to-1. The volume you're seeing up there doesn't mean it's all of those are shares shorted. But from my calculations in my DD, most of them actually were. because estimates for that whole day ranged from, by the way, the whole day is this right here, ranged from about 33 to 51 million shares sold short this day. Doesn't mean 51 or 33 million shares were sold short, meaning they opened new positions, but there was a short volume that day of the whole volume, 51 million at best and 33 million at least of shares sold short. But people said, okay, as I just said, short volume is not short interest. That doesn't mean they opened 33 million new positions. But my estimates say they basically did around that. Because if they short, even naked short, they have to deliver shares. They wouldn't do it the same day, because naked shorting wouldn't make sense if you did it within such a short time span, within a few minutes. So they basically have no shares at the moment. But why did they open that many positions? I think they closed a bit here. That's why the price went up so far. But they instantly shorted it back down here and back down here. You can check that on both shares. Okay, now I lost what I was saying. Oh yeah. Why did they open around 33 million new positions? Because, as I said, if they close out positions and instantly open new ones, creating a higher short volume but not a high short interest, price would actually recover. Because, as I said, if you short and then cover your position, that means you have to short a stock on paper, that's a naked short, and then you deliver the share by borrowing it from someone. If you close out that position, you buy back that share from the market, give it back to the person, borrow it again, and then sell it short again. But what that would create would be a increase in buying volume, because they would have to, in order to close the positions, would have to buy back shares from the market. So I think there was actually tens of millions of new positions opened that day. With the T+21 rule coming into place, I made a little mistake in my DD, by the way. I'm talking about that here live. They won't have to deliver the shares by March 19th, but in fact by March 26th. So they would have to deliver tens of millions of shares by that date, meaning they would have to start buying back here and here in order to deliver all those shares by then. Otherwise, they would become failed to deliver, which is illegal in the US because they naked shorted, and it's only legal if you can provide those shares. So why did I talk about that? Because of the new DTCC rule. What does the new rule state? Taking effect March 19th, if hedge funds are naked shorting, such as they did here with about 18 million shares, they have to deliver those shares, stating by the DTCC, that is their prime broker, so they have more power than the hedge funds themselves. They have to deliver those shares basically within 48 hours of trading, meaning if they would naked short about 20 million shares, they would have to provide those shares within 2 days. Otherwise, DTCC can force them to close their positions and basically say, give us a huge fucking fine that you will never forget. So DTCC is actually, with this rule, this is highly beneficial for us. They're creating a lot of pressure by March 19th, basically saying, if you're naked short, you have to provide much, much, much faster than SEC states. And if DTCC doesn't agree with the illegal actions of hedge funds, they can basically force them to close out their positions. As I said, it's taking effect March 19th. So right when the date I stated in my endgame DD. Why is it so important? What I would do if I would be their lawyer or their hedge fund manager, I would say, okay, we start closing out positions on March 18th. Why? Because DTCC can force us anyways on March 19th, and with a new rule coming into place, DTCC is taking no responsibility for actions after March 19th. I just said DTCC has to cover for hedge funds until March 18th. If they decide to close out their short positions after March 19th, DTCC is out, because they can basically just sell, yo, we warned you guys, you did illegal stuff, we have nothing to do with it. They basically throw hedge funds under the bus. So if I would be their lawyer, I would say, okay, we start closing out the positions here on a big scale, so DTCC still has to cover with you guys, still has to jump in and provide the money. That's what I would do. So we might be seeing something this week. My endgame DD states we will be seeing lots of action this week. You can read it all here. I can paste it in the chat for people that haven't read it yet. So yeah, this is the DTCC new ruling explained. It was signed March 5th, I think, or March 5th. Yeah, this, and has 10 business days of taking effect. So there's this, and that's the 10th business day, meaning the rule comes into effect on that date and is approved by here. So again, March 19th, all coming together to the endgame DD. And that's why the rule change was so important in supporting my theory. Okay, I'm so sorry for talking that much, guys. Only one question. I'm trying to my best to keep this as short as possible, but I want to give really in-depth side of everything and explain everything as easy as possible, because trading is not that easy if you're not into it. So please forgive me if I talk too much about one point or one question. I'm just trying my best to explain it as good as possible. And if you still have questions, if I said something wrong, you can hit me up on Twitter or at heyitspixel1. Basically, I will make another live stream today at around 5 p.m. German time. That would be around, let me think, yeah, my math is not that good, but 5 p.m. Central European time zone. Okay, I will answer everything there if I got something incorrect, or if you guys want me to answer anything further. Yes. What's your opinion on DFE's black hole tweet yesterday? Really hard to say, honestly, because there's been lots of speculation, lots of theories from the movie. I watched Interstellar myself. Great movie, by the way. And it could mean a lot. It could mean we're at the event horizon now. That's what you are calling this event horizon in a black hole. Oh yeah, this right here. No, just kidding. Okay, yeah, this is the event. That's, by the way, the first picture of a black hole ever taken. And this is the event horizon. That is the picture Deep FN Value tweeted. Let me look it up. Why is it not coming up? Did he block me? Oh no. No, here it is. Yo, this was the picture people are talking right now. I actually saw a theory that this black hole has a specific name, and the name is also the name of an infamous ape saving a circus from bankruptcy. So this could mean a lot, but yeah, I'm highly positive on this image. Also hinting that we are at the event horizon now and going into the black hole next week. And if you are not familiar with the black hole theory from Albert Einstein, it's basically time passes, or it's just a theory in general. If you go in there, basically stating, I think 30 minutes in a black hole are around 30 years on Earth. This could also mean that if we jump into this black hole next week, we could make earnings that we would make in about 30 years of working, of trading, whatever. So yeah, as I said, it could be the ape thing. It could also mean we are at the event horizon and shit is about to go down. That is my opinion. What do you think about those huge after-hour trades that did absolutely nothing to the price yesterday? I didn't even see that. I didn't look at the price action after market. I'm really sorry. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is what you're talking about. I mean, for after hours, this is a lot. And it actually did barely anything to the price, as you're saying. Well, it did something. As I just explained how a candle works. Price opened here. It went up all the way to this. 265. We opened at about... oh no. I'm just too zoomed in. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it actually did nothing to the... Holy shit. How? I would have to take a look at that, honestly. I mean, VWAP, that's how I call it in English, VWAP, even went down, even though the volume went up, and the price barely moved. So yeah, that is pretty weird, and I will take a look at that later. But yeah, as you can see, volume on here per candle, as I said, interval of 5 minutes, so everything of this, those dots are 5 minutes each, meaning there have been shares traded 1.2k, 700, 3.3k. You have to look at this, and yeah, all of a sudden we have a spike of around 200,000 shares in after hours, doing nothing to the price. That is actually pretty weird. So yeah, sorry for being an ape right there. I just realized. That's actually really weird, not gonna lie. Okay, next question. I don't own a lot of shares. I wish I did. I couldn't afford it. How high do you think this will go? I'm not speculating on the price of the short squeeze nor GameStop without a short squeeze. I'm sorry, I have to skip that. How likely do you think it is that brokers will use some type of excuse, such as liquidity, server issues, to stop us from selling when the time comes? Yeah, that's why I put sell limits on the market already. So even if brokers don't want to execute because they have server issues, you should create your sell limits now already. That's just my opinion. If they claim liquidity issues, they would actually face a really bad backlash from politicians in the US, because I have the feeling most politicians actually stand on the side of retail investors in this. So I think they wouldn't do that. But if they would claim server issues for any type of not executing trades, you would have to put up sell limits now already. So they are on the market as of Monday. Meaning your shares would become available to the public as soon as you reach your price point, and your broker couldn't stop that because your share is already being made available to the market. Josh, when we have the gamma squeeze, will the short squeeze come directly after? I don't think there will be a gamma squeeze before the short squeeze. If my theory is correct, we would start around March 19th, maybe even a bit sooner. With the short squeeze. So I think if there is a gamma squeeze happening next week, and if my theory is correct, they would go hand in hand. Hand in hand. My voice just died there. I'm sorry. Wait, let me drink. Holy shit. Maybe I'm just in puberty after all. Okay. Oh no, I went away now. Oh, there. Yeah, I as I said, I think they will go hand in hand now. Can the shorts start covering with a limit buy order so that the price doesn't rise instead of buying at the market? No, if they would start to cover, the price would rise as an effect, though that wouldn't make sense. So if they would have to buy back around 250 million shares, set up a limit buy at, let's say, $260, they wouldn't be able to find those shares at this price. Because if you would buy such a huge amount of shares at this price would reach instantly. So I think they won't be able to do that. Will you be if price hits 100k? I'm not saying that. Hey, and thank you for the DDs. Why do you think we did not see gamma squeeze yesterday? Oh yeah, on that question, as I said, I will be answering, if I'm gonna answer it this afternoon, not yet. You were using 25 February as your example for high volume or short volume. You also said you were wrong in your DD date of given a 20 days need to cover. Yeah. What's the question here? I don't get it. I said they don't have 21 days to cover. Basically, naked shorting is, as I said, do we have paint on here? Yes, we do. So you have person A. That's hedge funds. Bad hedge funds. And person B. You also have the market. So hedge funds would say, let's say, naked short 80 million shares. As a market maker, such as Citadel is, they can do it as a so-called balance sheet transaction. So the transaction hasn't happened yet with anyone, but they can already naked short by selling short 18 million shares to the market. So you would see 18 million shares being sold, as we saw. Zoom, I think it's here. No, that's not it. There it is. I mean, look at this. This is just ridiculous. If you look at this and see the volume afterwards, there hasn't been anything like that since then. But yeah, you would see exactly this. Hedge fund baddies as market makers have the power to do a balance sheet transaction and sell 80 million shares short to the market without having them provided yet. This is where person B would come in. Let's say this is, I don't know, BlackRock. BlackRock. Okay, this makes sense. Anyways, this is BlackRock. And hedge funds, one, have sold 18 million shares to the market without having them borrowed yet. That's a naked short. So what they would do is sell the shares to the market, as we saw here, and then within 21 business days, so this happened, let's say, Friday 5th, they would have 21 business days, so 5 days, 5 days, 5 days, 5 days, and this is 21st business day, so on April 5th, they would have to provide the shares. So what they would have to do is they would have to go to BlackRock and say, yo, we sold 80 million short without having them. Can we borrow them from you? What BlackRock would have to do is to say yes, no. If BlackRock, I mean, there's only 1 million shares available. This is why this is so risky to do with naked shorts. They would have to borrow them, even though there's only 1 million available. They would have to borrow 80 millions because they sold or opened 80 million new positions, let's say. And BlackRock would have to provide them with that. So BlackRock would say, yes, we are borrowing the shares for a fee of, let's say, 1.5% PA. That's P. I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry, guys. Please. PA. So BlackRock would borrow them shares. I think BlackRock wouldn't do this in this situation because BlackRock is highly invested in GME and interested in keeping the price up. But they would provide the shares. Hedge funds would then go, we have another player in the game, to the SEC and say, oh, look, we borrowed those shares from BlackRock now. We are not going to be on the failure to deliver list because we actually borrowed them now. Otherwise, after 21 business days passed, they would have to be on the failure to deliver list, meaning they would actually have to pay huge fines and fees for a normal person, but small fees and fines for them, because compared to what the assets are, it's not much. But yeah, they would say to the SEC, we have the shares borrowed now. BlackRock would make a bigger win on the fee, on the interest fee. Hedge funds would work with BlackRock, then tell SEC to, yeah, we have the shares. And yeah, they would have to provide the shares by BlackRock, as I said, by borrowing them. If BlackRock says, okay, we want our shares back, that's what you call, wait, let's open this new document, margin call. I hate my handwriting. Okay, margin call. We have HF, bad hedge funds, and BR, BlackRock. So, hedge funds, BlackRock, 18 million shares borrowed, let's say, from BlackRock. So, BlackRock gave 18 million shares to hedge funds. So, what would happen now is, if BlackRock margin calls them, it would mean they would basically tell Citadel, yo, for whatever reason, we want our shares back because they borrowed them. They are the legal owners of the shares. Hedge funds borrowed them from BlackRock in order to short sell them to the market. So let's say M is market. Hedge funds sell shares. Want to make the price go down in order to make profit. So they sell shares to the market. Price stocks. Not stonks. Yes? So good so far? Am I being clear? Wait, let me read the chat. I'm sorry, I haven't read the chat yet. So if I'm explaining bad, do you guys want to continue me on explaining what happens with naked shorts? I'm so sorry. I only have one monitor at the time. And as I said, if I explain too much or if I explain it too bad, please tell me now what I should do. Otherwise, I would be explaining this now. Yes, please. Ja, jetzt mach zu Ende. Sag mal, Raffi. Nicht so frech hier. Knallt's gleich. Nee. Okay, continue. So, margin call. BlackRock bought shares to hedge funds, 18 million. Hedge funds sold them short to the market. Market, price goes down. Let's say GME, price goes down. And in hopes of getting the price down as low as they can, hedge funds will buy back shares, meaning they would call recover they would close out their positions and therefore return the shares back to BlackRock with the interest fee paid, and they would buy back the shares they sold short at a lower price, meaning they would make a good profit. Let's say price was at 100 here. After shares sold short, it's at 50. They would buy back the shares for $50 that they sold short for 100, meaning they would buy back every share with $50 of raw profit, not raw profit, but profit before taxes, before fees, etc. And from that, they would have to pay BlackRock the fee and give them back their shares. So market maker, hedge funds sell the shares to the market, GME goes down, hedges want to cover their positions with a nice profit, and hedge funds become happy. This is how it usually goes. But with margin calls, we're going to open a new document for that. Margin. Okay, with margin calls, BlackRock would go to hedge funds and say, we want our shares back now, no matter what the price is. So we borrowed you 18 million of our shares and want that back now. What that would do is hedge funds would have to go to the market and buy back every single share they own to BlackRock. Otherwise, BlackRock would have a legal case against them because they failed to deliver back the shares to BlackRock, and BlackRock are the legal owners. So if the market sees a huge increase, as I said, 18 million shares, that's what we're looking at for this date, March 19th to March 26th, from the price movement I stated down here. Where is it? 33 million shares. Yeah, there it is. February 25th, 21 business days from that would be March 26th. And by then they would have to give back the shares. But if BlackRock wants to have them back sooner, they can actually say, if they are borrowed now, they could actually say, we want our shares back now. Price would rise because hedge funds would have to call to cover every single of those 18 million short positions and to give BlackRock back their shares. So that would mean stocks go up because we have an increase in volume, let's say 80 million, but on a positive scale. So we would see that red candle become a green candle. And imagine if the price is here, we go up here, it's 170. So that's about $30 in difference on that day with high volume. Imagine a low volume day such as the last few, what a buy of 18 million shares would do to the market. Candle would go up, stonks go up. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what a margin call would do. They would be forced to cover their positions instantly and buy back the shares at every price they have to because they want back their shares. And hedge funds wouldn't make any profit on that, but they took the risk with borrowing them, and that's the risk of naked shorting. So I hope that was understandable enough. I hope I didn't bore you all to death. Whew. Okay. Let me have a drink. Is anything still unclear? Do I need to clarify on naked shorting, on margin call, on hedge funds, on borrowing, on fees, on anything? Do you want to know more? Okay, this seems to be... Ja, tut mir leid, Rafi, deshalb frage ich ja die ganze Zeit. Es ist echt... ich bin nicht der Beste im Erklären, weil ich halt mit den ganzen Fachbegriffen immer arbeite und das dann auf einmal auf einfachen Deutsch zu machen, ist sehr schwer. Oder Englisch. Okay. Question. If GME shares are hard to buy, how come the board fee is so little like 1.5%? Because as of right now, most of the times people that lend out shares are banks, brokers, other hedge funds, ETFs. What they're seeing now is this week it's safe to get them back because they probably knew nothing crazy is gonna happen to the price and we won't see our shares again. So I think that's why the borrow rate is so low. It's sitting at about 0.8%. That's really, really, really low because they don't see any risk in not getting their shares back this week. So that's why the borrowing fee is so low. I think Next week, this is another indicator for a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze. If banks, brokers, or whoever is lending out the shares see a huge risk in getting them back, we're going to have to look at iBorrow Desk GME. Then you will see what's going to happen to the fees. Let's see, January 25th, we remember in January we had our first gamma squeeze. This is how high the fee was back then. They feared they will never see back their shares. So if you would have lent out a share by then, you could ask for a fee of about 84%. Because, as I said, the risk of not getting them back, especially in time, is really high. So you are taking huge risks with that. And now they're not seeing it. There was a huge, or not huge, but a small increase in the fee on February 26th. But now it's sitting at 0.8, meaning it's the lowest. It's been the lowest since for years. I haven't even realized that, or for months at least. Look at this. It's so low at the moment. So everyone is certain they will get back their shares this week. That's why it dropped dramatically. And I think, if my prediction is correct for next week, we will see a huge increase in fee next week. So you have to look at that fee for next week. I think we will go higher than that. There has been a... why is it only 2020? Yeah, back here the fee was about 200%. I think that's what we're going to see, maybe even more within the next week. So yeah, we'll see what happens then. Where should I start? Did you see the news article in Bloomberg Terminal? It said Citadel portfolio manager Chris Wheeler leaves hedge fund again. The article will disappear shortly. Yeah, I saw the article of a hedge fund manager leaving Citadel, but I don't have any opinion on that. I think that's good news for us, meaning that he probably left himself because he sees Citadel crumbling down and looked for a new job at another hedge fund. That's only my speculation on that. But I think it's good news that shit's about to hit the fan. They will avoid margin calls at all costs. There will be more price drops like Wednesday that trigger lots of SLS and sell-off. What do you think, Josh? No, I don't think there will be any more huge price drops. There might be one on Monday. Monday is always... Oh, sorry. Now Okay, it's here. Because Monday is always uncertain. We have 2 days of non-trading. In 2 days, so much can happen. People could tweet out good news, bad news. People could release good and bad news. And that all would come up to this one day, always Monday, where a lot of people see news as bad or good and buy in or sell. So Monday is always uncertain. We could see a bit of a price drop on Monday, but I think we will recover from that over the course of next week because the good news overweight the bad news at the moment. So... if DTCC does not cover hedge funds starting the 19th, who will cover hedge funds after the 19th? As I said, banks, other prime brokers, other companies behind the hedge funds, and insurances. So DTCC is one of the biggest ones. I mean, maybe the biggest ones. And they're just getting out of the distance of hedge funds if they screw this one up. So DTCC is just making themselves comfortable. But there's still a lot of other organizations still having to jump in. Are you a Nazi? Holy shit. Where did that come from? I'm gonna send you to the stille Treppe we say in Germany. Please don't say such words in my chat. Thank you. I recorded some wacky activity on the order book yesterday. What's the best way to send it to you? I'm just wondering if there was an explanation. Upload it and send it to me on Reddit or via chat messages. I'm checking my chat messages on a almost regular basis. So that's the best way. Or maybe no, I have a Twitter account now. I completely forgot. Go to Twitter, right here. HatesPixel1, and send it to me there. That's the easier way right now. I can find my Livestream. Du meinst eben, dass die DTCC ab dem 9. wenn ihr nicht bis dann covern und Discord dann noch, also wer würde dann bezahlen? Yeah, I just answered that one. Deiner Meinung nach dauern. I said in my endgame DD. Won't the hedge funds wait to be thrown under the bus by DTCC? They don't gain anything from bringing DTCC with them and vegetate. I think it's actually the other way around, as I stated, because I, as a hedge fund manager, oh no, I have to look at the calendar. Rule comes into effect here. DTCC is saying, oh, yo, we won't pay for you. And from that day, we can restrict your actions massively. So they could say as a FU gesture, if they're really emotional, okay, we will start covering here. So your new rules that you set up into place for us won't have any effect on us. We can still naked short en masse from that day. It could also result in an opposite effect. We could see a bit of a price drop that day because that's the last day before the new rule comes into place, where hedge funds could decide, okay, now we will do the really illegal stuff and naked short en masse with tens and tens and tens and hundreds of millions of shares. I think that won't happen because they would dig their graves much, 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 much deeper. But we could see something like that. I don't think we will. It's a possibility, but I think it's close to zero happening that hedge funds are going to overshort that day. You could expand upon the SLD 10-day versus 60 days to object as much definite. If there's no objection yet, it's definite, yes. I think SEC won't step in this one. I looked up other rule changes. No one ever stepped in within the last couple ones. I think out of 30 rule changes, under 2 to 5% had an objection. So March 19th is almost certain for it to take effect, because by now there would have been an objection. What is your view on the current short interest? The official one or the estimated one? Because on the official one, that's more than likely not the real number. I think I closed it. No, it's here. 52% short of float. I saw some people reporting 20%. There's no way this is real because naked shorts are not in here. This number is self-reported and easy to manipulate. So I don't give a damn about this number. They could say 0%. I would still stay the same because, as I said, this has no effect on any of my thoughts or actions anymore. New investor and want to hold myself. Prices will be higher than on the 19th. I don't want to sell soon. Thank you. Okay. Is there possibility the price doesn't increase on March 19th? And what could make that happen? Of course, there's always a possibility. My theory and my conclusion of my research states there will be an increase of price over the course of next week and over this week. So actually 2 weeks by now. Because by here they would have to buy back tens of millions of shares in order to cover their naked short positions. So I think we will see an increase in price, but nothing is certain. So please take everything I say and everyone else says with a grain of salt. Do your own research, and we're good to go. What's your impression of the last 2 days? What is a tactic by whales that got abandoned? I'm going to talk about that maybe afternoon when American friends are awake. I find it strange that our allies said, yeah, I'm going to talk about that as well. If we can see these things happening, don't you think hedges will pull something shady again to fuck the squeeze over? Oh, wait, am I offline? I think the stream lagged there for a second. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're still working outside on the internet. So if I go offline for no reason, you know, I'm dead. Hedge funds killed me. Can you explain how the squeeze could presumably unfold? Will look like the squeeze so that the rocket to his man then slowly levels out of it a few days. What about dips? I talked about that in my DD. If they do that, I'm taking out the loan and buying massively on the price drop. What do you think? How high will the price go? Awesome DD. Thank you. And I'm not speculating on how the price will go. Merit trade not let us use the sell limit above 50%. Any suggestions? Sadly not. Maybe someone can help out Kim Robbins with the sell limits. Is the Viking a fake whale? Ooh. I smell beef. Beef is in the air. In my opinion, yes. If it's really an old man, as he stated he is, with lots of buying power, lots of money, he would be way more experienced and less emotional. I mean, he deleted his whole Twitter account in January, came back when the price rose, and now he's claiming to be a whale again. I don't like this guy. I don't like what he says. He is almost always saying things after they happen. And he is saying lots of things will happen over the day. And after they don't happen, he basically says, oh yeah, but they will happen tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And yeah, I think he is not a real whale. Please explain a bit on endgame DD. So a lot of activity takes place next week and short squeeze like you on the 19th. Will it reach maximum then? I say that in my DD. Did you see XRC short intervals? That's good, right? That's really good. Yeah. 140% is really good because again, that's only the official number. That's not the real one maybe. But even if that's the real one and the official one, that's good as well. 140% is insane. And stream is my stream lagging for you guys as well? I see it up here in the preview. It seems to lag a bit. If it does, please tell me because then I'm gonna look for a fix. What's the role in retail at the moment? That's really hard to answer, honestly. What's the role of retail at the moment? It could no data. Wait, I can see it here. 0.3. Oh yeah, there has been a drop of frames actually. Yeah, the role of retail. I think it's still big, but not as big as people think. So I think retail is owning lots of shares, lots of the available float, maybe even 100% of the float. And they need us, but only if it's around that number. Let's say retail only owns, all of retail combines about 10% of the float. We would be nothing. What's your take on the massive volume? I talk about that in my endgame DD as well. Psychologically, it's so hard to hold. Any advice for newcomers? I know it's hard to hold. I held through 2 dips, through the massive one from 500 to 40. I've been holding since October. I haven't sold a single share yet. And I also bought an additional shares of worth like 300,000 euros. So yeah, it's really hard to hold. You have to emotionally detach yourself from the money. Don't make any concrete plans what you're going to do with the money, because if the price drops, you want to realize as many gains as possible. And therefore creating psychological pressure on yourself, because you're saying to yourself, oh, I have to sell now in order to realize the dreams I have. Even if it's not enough money to do it on its own, it's certainly a help. So don't do any concrete plans with it yet, and just buy the dip. That's what I'm doing. Wo können wir unsere gratis Burger abholen? It's still a secret yet. I'm going to talk about that as soon as the squeeze is over. I have plans to open a burger restaurant, and every diamond hand will get free burgers in my restaurant then. Oh no, I'm sorry. No lag. Weird. I think you saw it. For me, the preview loaded. Maybe it's just a preview glitch. Okay. What would be the worst scenario? There is no worst scenario. Even without a short squeeze, GME is on long term a really attractive stock. We are still in an attractive price point to buy in. There is no worst scenario. So everything could happen, but on a long term, GME is a really nice stock. Haben uns nichts ausgewogen passiert. Haben und nix. Okay, I don't get it. What do you think about the sideways trading for Thursday and Friday? I'm going to talk about that on my second stream. Is there a chance many OTM calls come from bad hedges? There's a chance for everything. So if that's your theory, it could be true. Yeah, it could be. But I think not many. And I will talk about that later as well. Because that comes together with the gamma squeeze. What do you think about possibility of a new CEO? Oh, I talked about that in my endgame DD as well. Ryan Cohen becoming the CEO officially would be such a huge blessing to the stock. It would create a new bottom if it's announced officially at around, that's my speculation, $400 if he becomes the CEO officially. I think one of his first actions will actually be an emergency shareholder meeting. Therefore calling back the shares and firing up the short squeeze even harder. That's just my prediction. Please, it's a disclaimer, not financial advice. It's just a theory I'm doing here in my live stream, and don't be sad if it doesn't happen. Thank you. Für die so zu agieren oder was hinter diese... I think there's only half of a question, maybe. Send on Twitter, check it out. We'll do later. Könnt ihr nicht jeden Tag ein Million Shares covern, statt sich zu squeezen lassen, ob es ein extrem für den Preis, selbst bei 20. No, they could do that. They shorted way too many shares. If they would buy back a million shares, wouldn't keep shorting the stock, the price would only go up. The only thing that's stopping the price from going up at the moment is them shorting the price even more. So that's considering that fact, it wouldn't make sense to buy shares and then short them instantly. So I think they're not covering at the moment and just shorting for reasons we don't know yet. Is the squeeze possible on a weekend? No. Yeah, it's close. It's not possible on a weekend. Best thing you can do is set alerts, as many as you like, and then yeah, that's a good advice for Kim Robbins on Ameritrade, only letting you set up sell limits 50% higher than the current price. Set up alarms. For a lot of people, that's not a solution because they're at work and they can't look at the phone or create sell limits. So that's only half of a solution, but it's better than nothing. Ist wohl die kritische Grenze, wo es eine Margin Call geben kann, statt im Januar. Yeah, I agree. $350 seems to be the border we have right now for them to get margin called. So I think that's why we stopped at 348.50 and had a huge drop in price after that, because that's seems to be the border where they could get margin called. Okay. I'm going offline in 5 minutes for about a couple of hours, and then I'll be back afternoon when our American friends are awake. So I hope you are all doing fine still, and will tune in back later if I didn't answer your questions yet. Yeah, that's, if my prediction is correct, yes. Also ja, wenn ich recht habe, ja. Remember to say this is not final before, during, closing every stream, just in case. Yeah, I'll do that before, every, during, etc. XRT, yeah, I answered XRT. I was holding through the big unbelievable experience, increasing the position since then. Are OTM options safe on March 19th, or would you wait around April 1 to 8? No, I think that we are pretty safe with March 19th. Willst du nochmal nachkaufen? Kann ich nichts zu sagen, sorry. Will I restock or buy more shares? I can't comment on that yet. 60 days ago, we saw a spike to 350 after hours. Price was at $50 the time. Is it a coincidence that we hit and the other day before crashing? No, it's not a coincidence. I just talked about that. My personal motto, buy, dips, hold, repeat. Yes, I'm going to sue you. How realistically big is the retail shares percentage, do you think, throughout all the statistics? I think it's between 70 to 100%. What if the hedges go bankrupt because they can't buy the shares back? I just talked about that. Please go back in stream or read my comments and posts on Reddit, or watch my interviews with Andrew. What will happen if GME calls for the shares back? If they would call back the shares would get counted. You would see how many counterfeit shares are out there, how many synthetic shares are out there. They would have to close out the short positions, because the owners of the shares, let's say BlackRock, lend out shares to hedge funds, would have to give BlackRock back the shares so they can give them to GameStop. That would force a short squeeze. If there are a ton of paper hands, would the squeeze still happen? Yes. Also, how does it benefit us for the recounting of shares? I answered that, I think, just now. Kannst du mir nochmal sagen, wenn der Puff langsam ins Vierstellige geht? Also reine Spekulation. This is pure speculations. I think by next week we end the 4 digits. All that's supposed to happen on March 19th, that will only create the same day settlements, or will they have settlement that comes out? Wait, all that's supposed to happen? I don't get this question. I'm sorry. Do you think? I don't think anything. Are they able to keep kicking down the can? No, I don't think so. A lot of indications that they won't be, because even Ryan Cohen, GameStop, and Ron Kitty tweeting every day that the event horizon is close by, that Ryan Cohen is saying with his tweets that shit is about to blow up, and I think we will see that next week. How do we know that $350 is the magical wall for the margin call? We'll talk about that later if you would like to. There's DD on that. Thanks for this forum. We needed this. Thank you. Wie geht's deinem Hund? Wie heißt sie? His name is Akihiro, or in German Akihiro, but Americans like to pronounce the RSR. I will show you old pictures. I don't know if you have already seen them, but this is my wonderful 4-week-old potato. This was 2 weeks ago. He is about 6 weeks old now, and we will pick him up at March 26th. This is my Potato Akihiro, my Shiba Inu Black 10. This is how he will look, Shiba Inu Black 10, when he's grown up. Wonderful dog. I'm really looking forward to it. This is how he look. And yeah, he's doing really, really fine. Thank you for asking. Was könnte den Squeeze vom Kurspreis extrem droppen? Verkauf von Whales? No, there won't be any sell-off of whales. And I think retail will hold through most of the price. Was meinst du passiert, wenn wir einen Failure to deliver bekommen? Of the naked shorts, what would happen if we would have a failure of delivery of the naked shorts? I think SEC would step in by then, because such a large amount hasn't been there yet in the history of this entire stock. I think SEC would step in and regulate. Everyone please appreciate and don't attack him. Yes, I agree. Wenn deine Theorie korrekt ist, wann rechnest du mit dem Peak bzw. dem Verkauf deiner Anteile am 19. März? Dazu sage ich leider nichts, sorry. Wofür steht eigentlich DD? Also, DD is due diligence. So someone doing due diligence, meaning they did a lot of research, presenting numbers, stating facts. Yes, that's due diligence. Was ist deine Meinung zu Stop-Loss und Trading Stop-Loss? Fix Stop-Loss, ohne Spaß. I'm sorry, fuck Stop-Losses. Seriously, we saw that price drop from here to here. 350 down to 170. I think a lot of stop losses got triggered on the way down. And the price rebounded to 260 immediately after that, within 10 minutes. So people probably sold at, let's say, 180 because of the stop loss, and the price was back up to 260 within 5 minutes. So don't do stop losses on such a volatile stock. That's just stupid. Okay, I'm going offline now for today, for a few hours, waiting for our American friends to wake up, and I'll be back. I'll create a new announcement of the stream in the next hours. We'll answer more questions then. We will have a nice hangout. I will look at more numbers. I will answer your questions. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream so far. Ich hoffe, euch hat es allen gefallen bis hierhin. And we will see each other later. I hope if you have any questions left, feel free. Let's do this really quick on Twitter. Let's say at HeyIt'sPixel1. That's me. What colors do your underwear is having? Yeah, just answer me on Twitter if you want me to answer your questions, because then I can work them one by one. In chat, it's really hard to keep up because it keeps going up and down. But here I will collect the questions and try to answer them one by one. Let me find my stream now. Okay, here we are. No face reveal yet. I commented on that at the start of the stream. There will be one if something happens, but I'm not telling you what I want to happen. But yeah, I hope you liked it so far. See you all later, hopefully. And if you have any more questions, feel free to answer me, to ask them on Twitter. I'm looking forward to answering all of them and be as transparent as possible. My wife is gonna hate me for wasting my whole weekend on that. But yeah, I hope I'm doing a service to you guys, because as I said, I want to be transparent as possible, answer as many questions as possible, because on Reddit it's really hard to keep up with updates, edits, comments. It's just better to do it in a live stream. Don't reveal face. Are you crazy? I am really crazy, and as I said, I'm not doing it yet, but I'm planning on doing it. So yeah, as I said, please, we will see each other later, hopefully, and until then, have a nice weekend. Drop a like on the stream. Yes, I can agree to that, and we will see each other later. Yeah, have a good day so far, and we will see each other. See ya. Bye bye.